next story is really incredible. By the way, guys, if you want to take a seat, here I see some free seats, so you don't have to stand up. Thanks. Next story is unbelievable because the next entrepreneur is coming from Spain, super successful company. I think he raised around 200 million, so really impressive. The company is Privalia, and the person here, really warm welcome again. Another time is the first time, I think, in Italy to talk to an international event. Lucas Carne, here it is. Hi, Lucas, how are you going?
Hi.
Hi, man. How are you going? Take a seat. All right. So, what do you think? Is this the first time in Italy to a tech event or not?
For a tech event, it is, yeah.
All
for
right.
business, it's not.
Yeah. For holiday?
For holiday, it's not.
Okay.
Obviously.
Very good. How many? Can I say? Can I do this question about Privalia? All right. How many of you knows Privalia? All right. Good. That's a good feedback.
How many of you shops at Privalia? Okay.
This is the focus, you know, on revenues, conversion.
Yeah.
Can I say, Lucas, are more people, when I say, how many of you know who I am? No one, you know? So I say, wow, that's good. No, excellent. But for the people who doesn't know Privalia, just in 1 minute, can we give a little bit of Privalia's story, a short version, to make them understand the size of Privalia and what it's all about?
Okay, well, you know what is it? We do fashion retail online. Privalia was born in 2006 in Barcelona, and now we sell around 400 million euros in 5 markets. Italia was the second market, the first one international market for us after Spain. It's now around 25% of our business, and we employ around 900 people in 5 offices. We are in Latin America, in Brazil and Mexico, and in Europe, apart from Spain and Italy, in Germany. We have around 12 million members and around 4 million unique visitors every month.
Okay. Tell me again the size in Italy. What's the dimension?
We will soon reach 100 million euros in sales.
Wow, in Italy only?
In Italy, yeah.
Wow, 100 million, okay. You know, the funny thing is that if a company in Italy does 100 million euros, you know, you find it on, you know, should be on the news, like TG1, we have, TG1 c'è ancora, scusate, sorry. This, you know, Channel 5, what's the name of this Italian channel? So, but, you know, still I think the tech culture is improving, you know, it's improving because a lot of media journalists now, they start to get the tech news, so I'm sure will be soon big news about everything that is tech and has got success. All right, how did you do that? Because that's the question. How could you build such a huge company from Spain?
Yeah, well, first you have to decide you want to start a company. And I was before a business consultant, okay. So I like to use frameworks. So there's one framework here, which is the 4 I's, sorry.
Okay.
So the first I is for initiative. I mean, you need to bet for it, you need to risk, you need to make a decision, you need to change your life. Then the second I is for irreverence.
Okay.
Any space today has competition, and when you're born, you need to think that you can make yourself a space, competing with the already established big ones. In our case, we could think about Amazon or eBay or Yux in Italy, for example, or Van Privé, etc. The third I is irresponsibility. If you really knew what all the obstacles, blocks, bad moments, etc., you're going to go through when you start a business, probably you would never do it. So a little bit of unconsciousness also helps. And the last one, which is the most important, is insistence. You need to work very hard. I worked hard when I was a consultant, but I've worked much harder as an entrepreneur. You need to be very perseverant. You never give up if you think you are doing the right thing. And, well, apart from that, there's an element which is always important, which is luck.
Right.
To do the right thing at the right place at the right moment.
Okay. Do you, in UK, there is a show called Dragon's Den. Any of you know about Dragon's Den? It's a show where there is an entrepreneur, it's a television show, and an entrepreneur arrived there and pitch the dragons, which are basically investors, and it's not only for tech, it's for any kind of companies, and they decide if investing or not. And there is always a big discussion because there are some dragons that say, if I invest in your company, you have to quit everything and you just have to do the company. And other investors say, no, before to quit your day job, you have to arrive in a point where your company starts to get some revenues and then you quit the job. What was your choice in the beginning? You just went in, or all in, or
well, I would say I'm radically in the first bucket, because I quit my job and I didn't know yet what I was going to do. What I decided at that time is that I wanted to become an entrepreneur.
Right.
And then it came the idea, and then we started up the business. That's what I did. I guess you will find entrepreneurs on both sides. But in our case, an online retail business, it's about size. It's very difficult to make money selling physical goods online, and you need to be big, and you need to be fast, because relative market share is important. So I hardly see myself and Jose Manuel, my co-founder, doing that as a part-time job.
Tell me one thing, why did you choose Italy as a market? Because I'm Italian, but still I would think twice before starting something focused on Italy. So probably you did a different analysis and you say, okay, I start in Italy instead of UK, for instance, or another market.
Well, that's a very good question, because we started Privalia in Barcelona for the Spanish market because we were Spanish. Right. So not a lot of strategy or analysis there. And when we started the business, we were always thinking, okay, we need to go to Germany, we need to go to UK. When you look at statistics on broadband penetration, e-commerce expenditure, etc., that are the places to be. And also, when you go to talk to venture capital, at least 7 years ago, when you said, okay, it's about Spain, the next sentence was, okay, next one, because doing e-commerce of physical goods in Spain some years ago was not really appealing, as it was perceived as a small market. But once we get into the business, we were doing very well. And at that time, I like to travel around and to meet with other companies doing the same as we did in UK and Germany. And suddenly, I realized that we were very lucky to be Spanish, because at that time, internet and digital media was pretty underdeveloped compared to the European Union average. And that resulted for us in very, very cheap customer acquisition. Right. And customer acquisition through online media investment was at that time also our main cash use. So we thought, okay, we are able to acquire a new buyer at a 5th or 10th of the cost in Germany or in UK. And I realized that conversion rates are pretty similar. So if I have a new euro to invest, this is the place to invest. So when looking around, we decided that the most clever thing was looking for a market replicating the characteristics of the Spanish market, which was very low development digital media. That meant very high, for example, open rates or click-through rates when doing email marketing, as opposed to UK. And then when you convert that into cost per lead or cost per buyer, it was uncomparable. But also other things we realized, like lower return rates, which kill our economics, or much more small designer brands. And our business was about doing flash sale events. So the more number of brands you have, the more new openings every day you can announce to your users, and the more traffic you can generate. So suddenly we realized that what we thought it was a poor small market, it was really a market where economics and mainly return on investment could be much better than in other developed markets.
I like the fact that when you decided the market was not like, I often see people doing this kind of mistake. They think, okay, how many people are connected online in Italy? So, and if you say, only 15 million, whatever, 20, 30 million, then you say, okay, that's the market. But in your case, you say, okay, the market is another, I take it from another angle.
We realized that, I mean, our market was related to the overall outwear and footwear branded retail market, because we sell off-season products, and off-season products is always a percentage of the overall market. I mean, brands place the orders to the manufacturers, they sell, and they always have leftovers. So the leftovers is a percentage of how the retail market is for these categories. So we were looking at that. And for example, when we looked at Italy, and when we segmented for branded footwear about 60 euros per product, we realized that Italy, in that sense, was even bigger than Germany.
Okay.
So things were fitting together. And when you come to Italy, there's much less competition at that time. So we thought, okay, we will be the winners in the underdeveloped digital markets. And we applied the same reasoning 1 year later when we decided to go to Brazil instead of other European markets.
Very interesting. Let's talk about funding for a second. And when we talked last week, you said, yeah, we raised a little bit of money, I think $200 million, something like that. And I thought, wow, amazing amount of money. And yesterday I was talking with Monty, from the founder of MySQL, who was here yesterday in the auditorium, of course, I mean. Okay, and Michael Wildenio said, I asked, when you did your exit, $1 billion exit, how was, how much effort you put in? And he said, no effort. I just got a call and they say your company was bought for 1 billion. That's it. So, but I mean, obviously he has got a more technical role. So how would you suggest to behave if you are an entrepreneur and you have to raise money, raise capital? You have obviously a huge experience on this topic. So what are your best tips?
Well, one, at least if you really need big money, is that you need to think big. VCs want a return on their money, 3x, 5x, 10x, whatever. So maybe Italy may be an extraordinary market to start a fashion retail business, but probably even being market leader, you will never have the size to leverage your investments in technology, your fixed costs, etc. So you need to think big, and you need to think global if you want someone to invest 30 million euros in an online retail business, because probably you will need a lot of money, and you will need to target a big market to reach to your break-even. And this is also important, not when you think about your business plan or your strategy, but also the way you approach venture capital. Because many people in Italy or in Spain complains that there's no a lot of venture capitalists here, but this is a global market. I mean, fundraising is a global market. So first you need to do is speak English. Second is to take your case and go to London or go to the US or go to Germany, and you cannot wait here the money to kick on your door. And one thing that is key is also that you get results. I mean, investors don't like uncertainty.
Right.
They don't like risk at all, although they are called capital risk or whatever. So they love entrepreneurs that do what they say they are going to do.
Right.
And this is about execution.
Can I ask a big applause for Lucas? He's so low profile. I mean, that is, you have people, maybe get 1 million euros funding and they behave like, wow, we got 1 million. Well, it doesn't mean anything, so to get big results, I like the approach. It's just doing things and it's hard work. So
another important thing is that your investors made money with you. So probably many people here will think, okay, 200 million after 7 years for a 400 million company is not so a good business. But 2/3 of that have already gone to the pockets of my initial investors.
Okay.
So that makes investor very happy. That increases trust.
Yeah, and helps a lot to live happy.
That helps.
What were your important stones building Privalia? I mean, any specific important stones that again you would recommend to overcome, all the difficulties that you have to face?
Well, in terms of the business in general, obsession with execution.
Okay.
I hardly know any successful entrepreneur which is not almost a maniac obsessed with the business. And when you are small and you are trying to grow the business, this is very important for efficiency.
Right.
I mean, every euro is important because in general, you always run out of money before you expect it.
Yeah.
Because if it goes worse or because if it goes better than you expected, but that always happens. So you need to get as far away as possible with the resources you have.
Yeah.
So being very, very efficient is very important. And for that, I mean, you need to be obsessed on the execution on top of the business and thinking on creating a good company, not on your exit or on how will you play consolidation. This will come when you are really a big business.
Obsessed. This is a word that all day, Martin Warszawski, everyone's speaking about, obsession is a word keep coming, so it's so important. Let's go finally about Europe, because Spain and Italy in the end are very similar, we're very similar, same long hair I have. And no, but I think we are similar culture, I mean.
Yeah, very similar.
So, what do you think, I mean, for Italy? What's the right way to go? Because in Spain, I mean, Privalia, Zaril yesterday, 20 was there. So from Spain started to come out some pretty good companies. So what do you think is the right way to follow, even also for Italy, from your experience in Spain?
Well, I think I said some of the ingredients. I mean, Italy is a 60 million population country.
Yeah.
I think that for starting a business, having traction and building a track record, it's a business enough big to do almost whatever thing. So there will be cons and pros. I told about ours, probably lower internet users or consumers, but cheaper.
Right.
Many people will think it's much easier to go to the US and Silicon Valley. Probably there are much more investors, a bigger market, but competition is crazy. So I don't think there's excuse. And in Spain, for example, when talking about entrepreneurs, especially the government talks a lot about how difficult it is to set up a legal entity, etc. It is difficult in Italy. In fact, in my experience, Italy is probably, after Brazil, the most difficult in terms of administration and procedures.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. But, I mean, this is nothing compared to the obstacles that you will have to face to start a business. I mean, the difficult thing is to sell your products, to recruit people when you have nothing to offer and not even a salary. I mean, this is a real challenge.
Right. It's interesting. Yossi Vardi says something like, sometimes you speak about so many difficult things and complaining, but then in Israel, we are worried about bombs, so the level of things that you worry about is totally different. What's next for Privalia in 30 seconds? What are your next challenges?
Well, there's no any breaking news here.
Okay.
Basically, we have spent 7 years having or building a position in 5 geographies.
Right.
These 5 geographies account for 500 million population, which is, for example, significantly higher than the 300 million in the US.
Okay.
And with an internet penetration and e-commerce adoption, which is probably 60% of that in the US. So we have a big growth opportunity in our markets. Now we are in a phase where our real short-term challenge is efficiency and profitability.
Okay.
This is the first year that we are going to be in black numbers as a consolidated company, because Brazil is very, very expensive.
Yeah.
And right now, our big target is to develop this market, gain market share and scale, but probably in the future, especially in Latin America, where we think that we may find opportunities to create value as we did in Mexico or Brazil, will be places to look at.
Yeah, the next challenge.
Yeah.
Lucas Carne, Privalia, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lucas. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please.